In today's video, we're pursuing puffins, crawling round castles with some medieval madness, all before ending up in jail. If you don't know us, I'm Rachel, he's Wills, and today you're where? Beaumaris! Lovely, we're back in Wales and we've brought the sun with us. Is today going to be good?
Super exciting day today. We're off to see puffins. If you've followed us for a while, you know that we tried to see puffins last year. Our puffin trip got cancelled. Then we booked a rib boat to go and see puffins, and that got rerouted down the Menai Straits. But today, it's a beautiful day. The trip is on. Fingers crossed, we see puffins.
Sounds great, but get your priorities in order.
But first, an ice cream.
Thank you. A little heave and yar to start the day. I went for the cream egg flavour. I know, filth, don't judge me. Right, puffins. Found them. No need to book here. I did it online 2 days ago. There was a real holiday feel in the air this day. It was the beginning of April. The sky was blue and the sea was calm. You did still need your jumper though, as it is Wales after all, but just your summer jumper. It was a cracking day, and Beaumaris Pier is a great place to catch crabs too. In a bucket! Beaumaris Pier was designed by Frederick Foster and opened in 1846. A pavilion was built at the end of the 19th century, and the pier was served by the steamers of the Liverpool and North Wales Steamship Company for many years. Today, it's where you'll catch your boat for your trip down the Menai Strait, or as we're doing, to Puffin Island. We'd booked onto the Island Princess, and little did we know that today was the very first day of this company's season. You couldn't have picked a better day for it. The sea was calm and we enjoyed a wonderfully smooth trip across to Puffin Island. Our skippers Matt and Ollie were very knowledgeable and gave a great commentary on what we were seeing along the way. Excited, Wills? Good lad, and what beautiful views across North Wales we had. Now, a little bit of Puffin Island history before we get there. Puffin Island is really called Ynys Seriol, or Seriol's Island, named after Saint Seriol, who founded an ecclesiastical settlement at Penmon. He later abandoned his responsibilities to establish a hermitage on a nearby island, where his remains are thought to rest. Today, the island is an area of special protection for wildlife, and it's not just puffins here. There are great cormorants, guillemots, razorbills, shags and kittiwakes. We just spotted an oyster catcher at this point. This side of the island is home to the cormorants. Puffin Island has a colony of over 750 great cormorants, which is over 10% of the national population. There is also a colony of grey seals here. The waters here are rich with an abundance of fish. This family of seals were having a lovely swim in the sunshine. So why is it now called Puffin Island? Well, it's the modern English name. The island once had a huge number of breeding puffins, with up to 2,000 breeding pairs at one time recorded. In 1890, the brown rat was accidentally introduced to the island, which almost completely wiped out the puffin population. In 1998, a programme to eradicate the rats was started, and since then the puffin population has grown once again. We did see a fair few, we just didn't get a good shot on camera. Here's one that Canva Pro made earlier. Back we went past Penmon Lighthouse, which is another great beach stop if you're ever in Anglesey. Do remember, if you come on this trip later in the summer, you won't see puffins. They just nest here and rear their chicks, then they're back out to sea. We'd seen puffins, seals and a whole array of seabirds. We'd had the best time. The trip had simply flown by and we were back in Beaumaris before we knew it.
Thanks very much, that's really good. Cheers, thank you. Pleasure, glad you enjoyed it.
We'd thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah. Come on, Puffin Island Cruises on the Princess with Ollie and Matt. It's brilliant,
Excellent.
You'll love it.
You certainly will. Cheers, lads, for a cracking tour. That holiday vibe was still in the air. Too early for a pint as yet, but fish and chips on the beach? Don't mind if we do. 2 portions of fish and chips, if you please.
That was absolutely brilliant, well worth the money. I think we paid about $16.50 each. It was supposed to last an hour and a quarter. It actually lasted an hour and a half. They stopped, they spun the boat round. We saw seals, we saw all types of birds, and we saw the puffins. They're so small, but we're so happy. They're a great company, they're a family-run company. Check them out, they does a little wave at the end, Starida, their name is. Well worth it, but what's even better, we've got fish and chips, and we're on the beach.
In Wales, in April, unheard of.
Well, they were lovely fish and chips from Neptune's, and I think now we're going to go look in the castle and use our Cadw cards, because as you know, if you saw our Ibiza video, I got Rachel a Cadw membership for her birthday. Cool, eh?
Very cool indeed, Wills.
Here's a sentence you don't use too often in Wales in April. We've just dropped our coats off at the car because it's too hot. Now let's get our Cadw membership underway.
In all of our visits to Beaumaris and all of the many castles of North Wales we've visited, we've never made it into this one. Let's get that sorted right now. Beaumaris is famous for being the greatest castle never built. Edward I had already constructed Conwy, Carnarvon and Harlech, and this one was to be their crowning glory, but it was never finished. We were treated to a medieval reenactment being held here this day. They had a tented village set up and were showcasing cooking, trading, crafts and combat.
Right, on the inside it's what we call a coat of plate. It's a victory coat of plate. Why is it a victory coat of plate? Because when they dug up about 20, 30 different types of coat of plate.
What a perfect setting for this event. We watched a little bit of combat and then had a look round the other tents. That was medieval cooking. It's now medieval washing up. This lad was making bow and arrows. And this lad had left his clothes behind. It was a perfect day for a medieval festival. Right, time to head inside and see how the other half used to live. This castle reminded us so much of Harlech. After all, it was designed by the same man, Master James of St George. Had it been fully built, it would have been truly imposing. And speaking of Master James of St George, that's him. Hang on, this medieval chappie needs to move his table. The outer walls of Beaumaris Castle were designed to be an imposing sight, with their sheer strength and size serving as a deterrent to any would-be attackers. There is still a section of the walls you can walk on. The views from up here of the castle and the surrounding countryside are amazing. We thoroughly enjoyed our wall walk. This incredible castle was intended to serve as a royal palace as well as a military stronghold. Now, Rach, down off your wall and tell us what you've learned so far.
Loving this castle. It reminds us of Harlech. Apparently it was the greatest castle never built. It wasn't finished, but it was the last one of Edward's ring of castles around North Wales.
Due to lack of funds and political unrest in Wales, this castle never became what it was supposed to be. Today it is recognised as one of the finest examples of medieval military architecture in Europe, and it's no surprise that it is now a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site. Despite this castle being incomplete, you get much more of a feel of what life would have been like back in the early 1300s.
What's really cool about this castle is this inner corridor we're in at the moment, and you can visit all the old little rooms. Haven't seen that in any of the other castles, especially the big ones where all these little rooms are turned into exhibitions. Here, you're just free to wander.
And wander we did, all the way up to the castle walls. Now, what have you found up here, Wills?
Behind me are ye olde bogs. And if you look down the steps there's a little hole, and I think you must squat over that to do your business. They have them in twos. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe they like to watch each other have a... or maybe just like to chat to each other.
You're a strange boy. I'm going to go with chat.
There's toilets everywhere.
Attackers approaching! Got him. We found this lovely chime bar harp, and of course Liberace couldn't help himself. Thanks Thanks for the impromptu concert, Wills. Now, let's just pass this medieval man, wonder who on earth this once was, and disown the Sado in the arch. Goofing about aside, we really enjoyed our time here. Right, time for some archery. Not bad, but not a patch on my air archery. We then went to the chapel where Wills frightened a load of kids to death playing with the acoustics. I present Wills, the world's worst babysitter.
Hello and welcome to Postcard and a Pint.
But he does like sound and acoustics, and is pretty good at those. As always, it was exit through the gift shop and what looked like...
Are these Christmas decorations?
Yes, they are.
The voice of the world weary there. A quick stroll through the back streets of Beaumaris, and we felt we had...
Finished in the castle, that was fantastic. Now we're off to jail.
The prison first opened in 1829 and was used to house prisoners from across North Wales. Today, it's a museum providing visitors with a glimpse into the past. Let's get started. During its time of operation, the jail was notorious for the harsh treatment of prisoners. Prisoners were subjected to overcrowding and inhumane living conditions. We were fascinated by the carvings in these floor tiles. The prison was designed to be a place of punishment and deterrence, and as such, the conditions were intentionally harsh. Food was sparse and often of a poor quality, and there was little in the way of medical care for the sick and injured. The prisoners were also subjected to strict rules and regulations and were often punished for even minor infractions. And for crimes such as murder, it was execution.
We're in the condemned man's cell, and there are only 2 executions here, but we're now going to take the walk that the men would have taken to the execution point.
I have since read it was 4 executions, but what an eerie walk. Richard Rowlands, executed in 1862 for the murder of his wife Anne. William Griffith, executed in 1864 for the murder of his wife Mary. This is where the gallows once stood. You can imagine the bell tolling on those fateful mornings. It is said that Richard Rowlands and William Griffith still lie here in this corner of the yard, and their spirits still wander the jail. Well, that was all very morbid and spooky, wasn't it? Let's see if the king of comedy can lighten the tone.
God said to Moses, "Come forth." But he came 5th on the microwave.
Okay, so maybe not lighten, more like lower the tone. But thanks for your contribution, Wills. We went back into the yard and discovered such atrocities as the flogging room. Ouch! I'm sorry, Wills is obsessed with toilets today. Uh-oh, an old camera, a convenient stool, only one way this is going to end.
Cheese!
apologies for him today. Now, any ghosts here?
There is one here called William, who was the head warder.
Oh, okay, not the guy that was hanged.
No.
No.
Well, I don't know. It could be.
Could be.
The thing is, the two of them are buried in
Yes,
the
we've just seen
background.
Yeah, I've just seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so...
Wow.
But there is a child, we don't know, somebody took a photograph of their wife and brother, and there was a child standing next to them.
Whoa.
So...
We'll be checking this footage.
Yeah.
And check it we did. Not a sausage. Over the road and through a secret gate, we walked into the grounds of the Church of St Mary and St Nicholas. And it was open. This church dates back to the 14th century and features stunning Gothic architecture. Like many churches we've visited, we were made to feel so welcome.
This is all medieval glass,
Yeah.
and when the windows were replaced, these were panels from the original stuff. So this is all medieval.
That modern glass, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas these things are quite modern.
Yeah.
You know, 1900 or something like that. So these are misericords. These date from 15 or 1600, the original ones. So we've got 12 original and 8 reproduction.
Wow. Which are the original?
I can tell you, but I can't tell you immediately. So they came from the priory when the priory was dissolved, and they're all made obviously of oak. And then here you've got like a crest, and then different tradesmen from the town. And the way they were used were like this, so that the monks would stand here like that, because the prayers went on forever. They'd stand here like this.
Yeah.
But they weren't really standing because
Their
of the props.
weight was taken,
And then
yeah.
if you need to sit down, they sit down.
Wow.
And until about 1900, there was a terrace all the way around, so people could go upstairs, where the organ loft is that sort of level.
We didn't catch your name, but thank you so much for taking time out of your day to show us your beautiful church, of which you are so proud, and rightly so. Oh no.
Ding dong merrily on high, bong 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 bong.
I swear he's been on the Red Bull today. Right, let's get you out, sunshine, and leave these poor people inside alone. This church sits in the centre of Beaumaris, so it's easy to find. There's the pub from last year's visit. Right behind that is this vibrant shopping area. This is one of the oldest houses in Britain from the 1400s. There are lots of little tea rooms, but by this time we were worn out and looking for a pint. That looks promising. Cheers! Right, we've just enough energy to walk up the high street. That's where you belong today, Wills. Beaumaris has something for everyone, and something I'd had my eye on today was the Ferris wheel. I love them. Can we have a go, please, Wills? Please?
Hiya.
Hello, can't help myself. There's a Ferris wheel, I've got to go on it.
Oh, here we go.
It was a lovely way to end the day, with perfect views across to Puffin Island and over the castle. We don't know if this is a permanent addition to Beaumaris, but we certainly enjoyed it. And that was our day out in Beaumaris. We think it was a really good one. You cannot beat North Wales in beautiful weather.
We're heading back to the car. What a top day that was. Absolutely beautiful blue skies. We did a boat trip, we saw a castle, we did a Ferris wheel, we went to a jail. What
Good fun,
more
wasn't it?
can you want? We'll see you back home for a cheeky pint. Well, we're back, and wasn't that an absolutely lovely day? You cannot beat North Wales when the weather's like that.
Beautiful,
The
isn't it?
views were stunning. Puffin Island was amazing.
They're tiny.
Oh yeah, we were both surprised. I thought they were bigger than that. I thought they were penguin-sized.
Yeah, we thought we captured them on camera as well.
No,
but
well we did.
didn't
They're
really.
like these little black dots floating
Yeah.
in the water because we haven't got one of them long things.
I know, one of those long
things. But it was absolutely brilliant. The seals were just swimming for days. So many different sorts of birds. It was great. Highly
wasn't it?
recommend that cruise, and with those guys as well. It was a real family business. service, and you felt part of the family when you're on the boat. So
Yeah,
Starida
absolutely.
Cruises, go with them.
Absolutely. Castle was good, wasn't it?
Caddo membership,
Yeah.
first in, completely looked out with that medieval day, did not know that was going to be on, and that was brilliant. And yeah, I loved going in all the little corridors. It's a bit like Ye Olde Travelodge from long ago, all the little rooms. You got more of a feel of living in that castle than you do in like the big ones. Everything's an exhibition in Carnarvon.
Yeah, they got similar things in Carnarvon.
Yeah,
but
everything's
says
got
it's exhibitions.
Yeah, exhibitions.
But
in.
it did remind us of Harlech.
Yes, it
very
reminded
similar in design
very
to Harlech
similar in
Castle,
design to
isn't it?
Harlech, and
Yeah.
the jail was interesting.
Yeah, we thought it might have been Cadus. We thought we'd get it for nothing, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. And a Ferris wheel.
That-
And chips and ice cream.
Oh,
What a
doesn't get
top
better than that,
day.
does it?
Absolutely brilliant. We like to break this moment now, or take this moment even, to thank Kate Marie out in Qatar. She sent us a super thanks a couple of weeks ago, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much. Very nice of you.
And I hope you're still having fun in Qatar, and I bet you're really excited to come home, because she's actually from the UK, and she keeps living her life at home through our videos, which is really, really lovely.
Lovely, isn't it? Thank you.
Yeah. So if you would like this video, that'd be good.
That would be fantastic. If you could hit the button,
Hit the
and
button.
subscribe, and
Yeah, give us a thumbs
do the
up.
bell, all
And
that sort of
leave us a
thing.
comment, because we do like to chat and keep in touch with everyone. We've made so many nice friends.
Haven't we?
So shall we round it up? Let's
Go on
do
then.
it.
Yep.
As we say, in postcard and a pint.
Cheers to the good times. This bloke walking along a cliff top, he sees this little bird with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He says, "Oi, you shouldn't be smoking." He says, "I'm not, I'm puffing."